Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're getting into something really, really foundational. We've got access to some exclusive stuff, excerpts from a 12-hour syllabus and slides. It's for a pretty high-level character, relationship development, and mentor training program.
That's right. And, we're not just talking theory today. We're really digging into the practical steps, the instruction set for building character needed for, well, independent living. We're zeroing in on session 4. Super important stuff. Thinking for yourself, critical thinking, and then how it plays out with social media management.
It's amazing how broad this program is, though. Just to give you a sense, other sessions cover, like, you are not special, grit, negotiating skills.
Financial literacy, too.
Right, financial literacy, and even session 5, which has that great title, Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll. But, arguably none of that works if you haven't nailed this core skill we're looking at today, real independent thought.
Yeah, and when the program defines thinking for yourself, it's not abstract. Not at all. It's described as the ability to analyze, to reflect, and then make decisions.
Yeah.
Decisions driven by your own mix of convictions, knowledge, and experience.
Okay.
And what really jumps out is the emphasis on let's say, the cost of this. It takes serious self-confidence, real courage, actually. Courage to stick by your choices, even when everything and everyone, society, family, work is pushing back.
Okay, yeah, I see that. Let's unpack this with, actual behaviors. How does this look in action?
Good question. The sources list specific things.
Mm-hmm.
First up is critical evaluation.
Right.
So take a controversial topic. The slides mention climate change or vaccination. Independent thought means you actively go find multiple sources, often ones that clash. And then you have to really analyze their credibility, their biases, where are they coming from?
That sounds exhausting.
It is. It's cognitively demanding, which is exactly why a lot of people just don't do it. At least the next point, questioning beliefs. The course insists you just can't accept info from mainstream media or social media at face value. Period. You got to stop. Question the assumptions underneath it all. Ask, where's the evidence? Is there any?
And this hard work, this questioning, it lets you do what?
It lets you actually formulate personal opinions. So when you're talking with friends or family, you're not just repeating the last thing you heard or read.
You're not just a mouthpiece.
Exactly. You're expressing views based on your own research, your understanding. It's about developing that unique perspective from your experiences, your values. That gives your voice actual weight.
Makes sense.
And the program really hits this home. This isn't just an academic exercise, right? It's fundamental for personal growth, for self-empowerment. If you don't think independently, you're basically letting external forces, trends, bosses, whatever, dictate your character.
So if that's the base layer, how does this independence show up in, the big life decisions, day-to-day stuff?
Oh, it changes everything. Take choosing a career path. The program doesn't just say, follow your passion. No, it pushes the student to look past the social pressures, the pull towards status or money.
Right, the usual expectations.
Yeah, and instead analyze what path genuinely fits their skills, their interests, their core values. It's about consciously separating personal fulfillment from what everyone else thinks you should do.
Wow, okay. And it applies socially, too. Friendships.
Absolutely. Evaluating friendships. The syllabus asks you to look at your friendships based on whether they actually support your growth personally, intellectually. That takes guts, to maybe step back from people who are popular or just familiar if they're actually holding you back.
That's a tough one.
It is. And it connects directly to setting goals. Thinking independently means you define success for yourself. Your idea of the good life might look totally different from the standard measures like wealth or status. Maybe it's about happiness or balance or making an impact.
This leads into that bucking trends and norms idea, which sounds, I don't know, a bit rebellious just for the sake of it.
It could sound that way, but the program frames it differently. It's tied directly to authenticity.
Ah, okay.
The goal isn't just to be contrary. It's about being internally consistent.
Yeah.
Sincere. So, fashion choices, if they reflect your style, your comfort, fine. That's independent.
Regardless of trends.
Exactly. Or opinions on culture. Maybe you genuinely love a type of music or art your friends dismiss. You embrace it because it resonates with you personally, not because you're trying to look like a nonconformist.
So it's about genuine self-expression, not performance.
Precisely. And that genuineness requires something else. Self-correction, responsibility. The program really stresses owning up to mistakes.
Yeah. Taking responsibility when your independent choice doesn't pan out.
You got it. Taking responsibility, learning the lesson, not just deflecting blame.
And that ties into reflecting on what you believe.
Absolutely. Constant reflecting on beliefs. If you're truly independent, you have to be willing to change your mind, when new evidence comes along. Just clinging to old ideas
Yeah.
because they're familiar, that's the opposite of independent thought. It's stagnation.
Okay, so that reflection, that self-correction, it brings us to the more, formal mechanics of critical thinking itself.
Yeah, the syllabus gets specific here.
Right.
Critical thinking is defined as the ability to analyze information, evaluate different viewpoints,
Okay.
and then make reasoned decisions based on evidence,
Ah.
based on logic.
Yeah.
It involves spotting biases, questioning assumptions, solving problems without needing everyone else to agree first.
So how do you practice that? What does the program suggest?
It's very practical. Step 1, ask questions.
Just be curious.
Intensely curious. Question your own assumptions, question others, and tactically, they suggest asking directly, what exactly do you mean by that comment? Force clarity.
I like that. Okay, what's next?
Then you gather information. The slides mention tools like ChatGPT, Google, verifiable online sources. Research is key, but the heavy lifting is in the analysis. Analyze arguments.
How so?
Breaking them down, what are the premises? What's the conclusion? Is the link solid? And crucially, identify biases.
Ah, the bias part again.
Huge emphasis here. There's a maxim right on the slide. Group thinking, no thinking.
Wow, punchy.
Isn't it? The idea is when you think as part of a group, you often outsource your own critical faculties. You lose that essential friction needed for real insight.
So you need friction, you need different views.
Exactly. Which leads to engaging with diverse perspectives.
Yeah.
This means you have to listen actively, really listen, even to people you fundamentally disagree with. Resist that knee-jerk reaction to just dismiss them. Try to understand why they think that way.
And you need diverse input too, right? Media.
Yes, the program is clear. Seek diverse media, not just politically different, but from various cultural, economic backgrounds. Get a truly wide lens on the world.
Makes sense. What about challenging authority, like in class?
Important point. Challenging authority is covered, but with an emphasis on respect and intellectual integrity. They advise asking questions in class respectfully. The goal isn't to show off or be difficult,
Right.
but to genuinely push for deeper understanding.
Right.
To make sure you haven't just passively accepted what the professor said without thinking it through yourself.
Okay, this is a lot of internal work, a lot of discipline. Where does it get tested most? I'm thinking social media. That's like the battlefield for independent thought, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's constantly under siege there. And the program tackles it head-on with social media management. It provides a structured approach because how you are online really reflects your independent thinking, or lack thereof.
So what's the structure?
First, define goals and platforms. What do you actually want from social media? Building a brand, connecting professionally, just creative fun. Then you pick platforms that match. Instagram for visuals, maybe X for quick updates and debate, TikTok for short creative stuff.
Strategic choices, and then content.
Right. Create engaging content. Use good quality photos or video, sure. But the key is using personal experiences. That's what connects.
Ties back to authenticity.
Exactly. Authenticity and consistency are huge. Share your real self, your actual interests. That's how you build trust. And you need to post regularly. Develop a rhythm, maybe a content calendar, to establish your voice.
And the safety aspect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Critical, you have to monitor your online reputation. Be aware of how your posts might land in different contexts. Do they align with the independent character you're building? Plus, basic online safety. Check your privacy settings. Be careful what personal info you share. That's just mandatory.
Okay, standard stuff there. But what else?
Well, here's what's interesting. The focus on balance and self-care. The curriculum insists you set limits on social media use. Don't let it take over real life, real responsibilities, real relationships.
The good life idea again.
Precisely. Prioritize activities that actually contribute to your well-being, your good life. And this gets to something that seems almost laughably simple, but it's presented as vital.
Which is?
It's in all caps in the slides. Get 8 hours of sleep every day.
Sleep. In a syllabus about critical thinking and social media, why mandatory?
Because the program makes a direct link. Chronic sleep deprivation tanks your cognitive function. Full stop. When you're sleep deprived, you're literally less able to do the hard work of critical thinking, sustain focus, logical analysis, managing emotions.
Oh, never thought of it that way.
A tired brain is way more easily influenced, more susceptible to emotional appeals, to external suggestion. It cripples independent thought.
So sleep isn't just rest, it's like cognitive armor, mental defense.
That's a great way to put it. Cognitive armor. It's core to fortifying your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And as we kind of wrap up the analysis, the sources emphasize this isn't a one-and-done thing. Independence is ongoing. It needs regular practice.
What kind of practice?
Reflective practices
Right.
like journaling, writing down thoughts, feelings, beliefs. It helps you spot patterns in your own thinking, clarify things, cut through the internal noise.
Okay, and for the external noise?
They recommend mindfulness or meditation as a tool specifically to boost self-awareness. It helps you connect with your own internal logic, separating you from all the peer pressure and media shouting.
Interesting. It all seems to come back to knowing yourself.
Absolutely. Identifying core values is key, and then constantly checking, do my decisions align with values?
Hmm.
And maybe the most mature point is embracing uncertainty.
How so?
Just acknowledging that complex issues rarely have simple black and white answers. You need flexibility. You have to be open to changing your mind when you get new, solid information. Avoid becoming dogmatic.
And to keep that mental flexibility sharp.
Engaging in constructive discourse. Have debates, conversations with people who see things totally differently. It forces you to really articulate and defend your views. Shows you where your thinking might be weak.
And what if you mess up? If your independent thinking leads to a mistake?
That's the final piece. Self-compassion. The program explicitly says you will make mistakes if you're truly thinking for yourself. It's part of the process. So being kind to yourself, allowing room to reflect and learn from those mistakes, that's crucial for having the courage to keep going.
Wow. Okay, so summing this up, what this deep dive really shows is that thinking independently isn't some trait you're born with. It's a set of active skills. A full-time management job, almost. Requires discipline in everything, choosing clothes, setting goals, managing friends, even getting enough sleep.
Exactly. It
It's
connects critical thought directly back to your character, to personal responsibility. I think the biggest challenge highlighted in this syllabus is constantly managing those external influences. Being really mindful about the people, the media, the environments you let into your life. Do they support your autonomy or undermine it?
That is the perfect place to leave our listeners. A final thought for you to consider. Given that session 1 of this program covers failing well, how might actively practicing that skill directly help you practice the self-compassion needed when you inevitably stumble while trying to think for yourself? Something to mull over until our next deep dive.